Yo people, welcome back to the channel. This is your FA Cup quarterfinal preview as well as your Premier League game week 29 preview, of course. Loads of games not happening in the Premier League due to Premier League teams facing off in the FA Cup, so I decided to cover both. Um, so yeah, do smash that like button and subscribe button before we get into things. So, of course, the first game is an FA Cup game and it's Wolves against Coventry. Now, Wolves have been on good form of late, fixed their defensive record, um, only conceding really less than 2 goals in recent games, only conceding a goal year or day. Then you've got Wolves, who's not Wolves, Coventry, has been absolutely good since since the first part of the season finished. Since 2024, they've been on fire. Coventry, um, Elias Sims, I think, um, is doing really well. Of course, signed him from Everton last season. He's doing really well there at Coventry. So yeah, I think this game it's poised to be a high scoring game. Of course, Wolves are the favourites, but I think it's going to be an interesting game to see how they approach the game as favourites because usually they are underdogs. Coventry, they're a really good team. So I'm going to go for a free draw and Coventry to win on penalties. Um, yeah, it's a high scoring game, and hopefully I get something there of of that game. Next game is Manchester City against Newcastle. Now, of course, we all know Manchester City flying in the Champions League, Premier League. Of course, the stutter against Liverpool. Probably should have lost that game. If Luis Diaz had his shooting boots on, if the ref gave the penalty, probably Liverpool would have scored that. So it's interesting to see um, how City have gone through this whole season. It was a scary part. They're getting their mojo back, but still not back yet. Newcastle injuries galore. Um, just coming off a loss to my club Chelsea, 3-1. No, sorry, 3-2, 3-1 up late 90th minute. Second goal for them. So yeah, it's been not the best season for Newcastle, but they're still amongst the European places. Let's be honest. So that's what they have done really well. This game away from home to Manchester City at the Etihad, FA Cup game. I think we all know what they're going to do. They're going to set it out, low block, galore. And I'm going to go for one on Manchester City. I think they'll struggle to break Newcastle down, but get a goal at the end. And then Chelsea against Leicester City. Of course, this is a Sunday game, finishing up all the FA Cup games before we move on to the Premier League. Leicester have struggled of late. With I believe I've only won 2 of the last 5 games, if I'm not wrong, something like that. So they've been a bit uneasiness in the Leicester camp. Chelsea, good performance against Newcastle on Monday, but inconsistency is unfortunately there for Chelsea and for Leicester of late. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Chelsea. I think we sneak it. Of course, we've got that um, history with Leicester in the FA Cup. Of course, the FA Cup final your elements. Never forget that. Screamer from outside the box. So gutting. Luckily, he's now at Villa and not playing for Leicester anymore. Now we've got a different threat to deal with. What's his name? Kieran Dewsbury Hall is performing right now. So yeah, apologies for that. Just seeing notification gone off. Thought I turned it on silent, but that's fine. I'm silent now. So yeah, and then the last game, the last game. Two massive clubs. One club performing in no four competitions. The other only in one competition. Can you guess who? It's Manchester United against Liverpool. Oh, and Liverpool doing really good, of course. Smashed Sparta 6-1, 11-2 on aggregate. Yeah, and then, of course, United, who did they play on the weekend? They beat Everton 2-0, scored only penalties. Can't remember the last time I saw a good goal from United other than a screamer, like from Rashford. Good build-up play one, or from a goal from a set piece, even doesn't count. Good build-up play. We haven't seen that of United this season. Liverpool, of course, 0-0 at Anfield, but that was in the Premier League, FA Cup. United's going to have to go. I really hope so. I'm going to go for 2-0 win to Liverpool. Easy for them. And then we move on to the 4 Premier League games. Now, the Premier League games, oh, there are some interesting games in them, especially the the second and the fifth game is a really interesting game. So the first one is, of course, Burnley against Brentford, and now Brentford have struggled of late, definitely with injuries and all sorts. Of course, Kai Havertz securing also went over Brentford for the second time in a row this season. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. This one. It's going to be a real tough game. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Brentford win. I think Burnley score. Burnley have been really good of late. Of course, without they have played, but not really getting the results really. Was naive from Vincent Company sticking to his philosophy. But Brentford's few injuries coming back, I think they will do it because Burnley are just rubbish. So yeah, it is away from home though, so it will be difficult. Definitely will be difficult. And then next game is Luton against Nottingham Forest. But this game, I hear from both Luton and Nottingham Forest fans saying this is a championship playoff final. Now, let me tell you why. Because 3 points, the difference between these two teams. But Forest got points deduction coming. So that might be 6 points, it might be 10 points. That's a big thing. Also, but if Forest win, they get a 6-point deduction. Level on points. If Luton win, level on points deduction for Forest. Let's say 6 points. The 6 points clear. That's the thing. And also, why this is a big game for Luton as well. they've got 4 massive away games. Actually 5 massive away games. They've got Arsenal and Tottenham both after each other. They've got City away. They've got Wolves at the Molineux, and Wolves, if they still continue on this form, will be dangerous. West Ham towards the last 2 games of the season, massive game for that, because West Ham will definitely might be still in European competition. Um, so yeah, this game, if it's a draw, it's an open playing field. I think, because a draw, that's still 3 points, 6 points deduction, is 3 points difference. It's the same. Luton just go ahead with 3 points. That's the main thing. So whoever wins this game has a massive advantage in the relegation battle. This game, I'm going to go for 2-1. 2-1 to Luton. I reckon Luton do it. And now the last 2 Premier League games. Of course, it's Fulham versus Spurs. Now Fulham have done really, really well under Marco Silva so far this season. And yeah, they play a Spurs team which is starting to gain better form back, but we know Spurs inconsistent, getting players back though, so it's improving for them, their situation. Spurs, um, Fulham at home. I like Fulham. I think they could and get a goal from this game, but Spurs just at this stage has more quality right now. So I'm going to go with 2-1 to Spurs. 2-1 away victory for the Spuds. And then the last game is West Ham against Aston Villa. Of course, a big game for Aston Villa, because if they win, they have a really strong position in that top form. But if West Ham win, they climb that table. They get closer to the Europa League spot and stuff. Yeah, Europa League, Europa Conference League spots. So yeah, this game is massive for both teams. West Ham just destroyed Freiburg in the Europa League. And then what else? Villa destroyed Ajax in the Conference League. So both teams coming off games where they absolutely destroyed their teams. I think both won 4-0 or 5-1, something, 5-0, 4-0, something like that. Mohamed Kudus, what a player he is. Really just that we didn't sign him. So yeah, this game, I think high scoring game at the London Stadium. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this one. High scoring draw. So yeah, that's all my predictions. Let me know yours for the FA Cup and Premier League. Cheers, people.